deeply sorry for the disruption this creates in your life.
So that is Atlassian CEO Mike Cannon-Brookes. And they just announced today that they are laying off 10% of their employee base ahead of their investment and adoption into AI. And in that video, he, uses a ChatGPT script to talk about how sorry he is, and he understands the impact this has on your family and on your career and on your friends. And as he says in this clip that I used, he's really sorry about the impact that that's going to have, but it's what the business had to do so that they could move forward and be competitive and do the things that they want to do. That man is worth $7.5 billion. $7.5 billion. And he just laid off 10% of his employee workforce. He sent out 10% of his workforce into this job market. And there's even more interesting information that's come out. I think it was yesterday, that the idea that long-term unemployment is actually the new normal when it comes to unemployment. And if you'll remember, because we talk about this a lot, long-term unemployment is defined as anything 27 weeks or longer, which is once unemployment benefits end. Which also means that is when people fall off of unemployment data, off of the BLS data, off of, anything that they're analyzing for the JOLTS report and things like that. Because that data is defined by how many unemployment claims are happening. Once you get into long-term unemployment and you cannot make claims, you fall off all the data. So it is actually very hard for us to get a clean number on how many people are actually genuinely unemployed because of this. Now, that does help a little bit because that means that we can make the job market look a lot better than it actually is. Because who knows how many people are actually unemployed? We only know how many people are claiming unemployment, right? But neither here nor there. Back to Atlassian. $7.5 billion. And he lays off 10% of his workforce because this is what these CEOs, this is what these companies are doing now. They are using people's livelihoods to play their tech bro games. Right? Because you don't need to let go of a whole percentage of your workforce so that you can release, basically the equivalent of a technological toddler loose on your product. There are other ways to do it. You could do an across-the-board pay cut. Every single employee has to take a 10 or 15% pay cut. Is that going to make things hard for people? Absolutely, it's going to make things hard for people, but they'll still be employed. Everyone will still be employed. Everyone will still have their benefits. Tightening purse strings, sure, that sucks. But it's a hell of a lot better than having nothing. You know what else you could do? You could do mandated furloughs. Everybody in the company, CEO included, has to take a 1-month furlough every year. You can take it all together or you can spread it out over the year, but everyone has to take 1 month unpaid furlough. Everyone still stays employed. Yes, they're getting a pay cut because they're only being paid for 11 months instead of 12, but everyone's still employed. There are ways to do this. And I know that everybody who really loves tech and loves econ and loves to worship at the feet of corporate will say, well, hidden cost, da, da, da. No, you can get creative. You can get creative. You can still take care of people. You can still take care of your workforce, and you can play your little tech bro games all you want. You are throwing people into the worst job market in modern history because you just want to stay competitive by adding the letters AI into your platform. And I know that little chat monologue that you did on that video where you were doing a really good job seeming empathetic. Excellent acting there, my friend. I know you really thought you did something there, but I don't know. 7.5 billion. Maybe put that fucking bonus that you get every year towards AI and let people still feed their families.